Indigo children, according to a pseudoscientific New Age concept, are children who are believed to possess special, unusual, and sometimes supernatural traits or abilities. Indigos are gifted children, or adults as in the popular definition. Children who are often despised for nothing's sake. They grew up undergoing various types of pains and tribulations in order to be refined as golds and diamonds. That is, to become their authentic self and accomplish what they are here for. So, who are these indigo children and adults, the so-called New Age children with unique abilities?
Are you a crystal child or a parent of a crystal child?
Could you be a rainbow child? Or do you have a rainbow child?
Alrighty, well, good evening, everybody, and hope everybody's doing quite good today. Just to let you know, for this past actually month, though, Eva and I, we have been talking. We are going to be going with a couple live shows. Now, this one here, unfortunately, this one here is going to be a public one. The ones after that, though, you do have to be a full subscriber with us. There will be a link, though, that you have to follow underneath our both of our Facebook pages, and that way you guys can be able to take part. So this week here, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about indigo children. Next week, we're going to be talking about crystal children. Then we're going to be talking about rainbow children, with also one extra feature for you. Now, just before we go live, what I like to do though is actually promote some items that we have. One thing though is called Florida water. This Florida water is not underneath our website, but we do have this for sale. If you like to be able to pick that up with us, please send us actually an email at HauntingLivePodcasts@gmail.com. That one goes for $25, and with Florida water, it's really good though because you can actually be able to pick up a lot of things with it. It's good for cleaning, it's good for sterilization, even for cleansing the negative energy from your area. So again, the Florida water, through email, HauntingLivePodcasts@gmail.com for $25. So Eva, how's things going actually on your end? Are we getting that working or not?
It's still not working. It keeps coming up error. And this is, at least it's doing that. Before it just sat there and looked at me like, yeah, so. Almost as bad as my cat.
Which one? The one that's on the bed?
Yeah, the one that I call her Molly. She is, I give up. Okay, just give me a few more minutes here.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, Molly is she's pretty good. But she'll sit there and go like, "You want me to do what?" And I'm like, "Would you get off the bed?" It's like, no. There's a commercial out right now, and it's for Chewy, and it just so describes our cats because at the end she goes, "Okay, pet me." The guy reaches over and gives her a little pet. Okay, that's enough. Like that is so typical cat.
Yeah, that one that I have not seen up here in Canada. That might be only for the States only.
Must be for the States. It's for Chewy. I don't know if you have Chewy up there.
Doesn't sound familiar.
I'm sorry?
Doesn't sound familiar.
Chewy is it's a online kind of like an Amazon thing for pet supplies, all kinds of pet supplies.
Okay.
And these, I mean, I know people who use it and they say it's great, and I know other people who use it, they say it's too expensive, and I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So again, those Eva do with the footnotes I actually sent to you actually on desktop.
I have them. I am getting them right now.
Okay, right. For most people, we're usually more organized than this. Eva's also more organized for the shows. But the thing though is her printer has been kind of acting up. So for everybody that sends positive energy, send the energy to Eva's printer.
No, send energy to Eva so she doesn't have a heart attack or something.
So true. All right. So tonight, though, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at Indigo Children.
I've got the notes up with you, so.
All right. All right. So basically, Indigo Children actually have purposes in this world. If you are an Indigo child, know somebody that actually has it, they actually have extremely gifts. Now, their gifts, though, can be actually for changing everything more positive around them. And again, tonight, we're going to take a look actually at this. Now, Indigo Children started becoming well known actually in the 70s. Who knows when?
Yes. There was a book that was written, and it was about the Indigo Children by a woman who was very, very active in the I don't want to say psychic world, because she was more than that. It was kind of like the paranormal, maybe would be better. And she noticed that these children were coming into being, and that they all had this indigo or this blue, beautiful blue aura about them. And it was unusual because mostly children would have like multicolor auras, not a rainbow, but a multicolored aura. And they were appearing more and more, and she started doing more research about, excuse me, about these, and that's where the term Indigo Children come from. And we'll see.
Yeah. Now, it doesn't mean the child's born with it. Some children are born with indigo. Some adults also get indigo right when they're much older. So even though it's actually indicating indigo children, today we're going to do those. We're going to take a look actually at this. Now, there are actually 13 different signs actually in traditions actually for indigo children. Now, if you Eva would like to just read up about that.
Oh, I've got it here with us. We can just go from there. Go from here.
Yeah.
Okay. Excuse me.
Would you like to be able to sort of read what is an indigo child?
You want to do the odd or the even?
For right now, those we're going to do those. We're going to look actually at the very first paragraph.
Okay. The spiritually awake, you feel spiritually awakened?
So that when there is, what is an indigo child?
Oh, okay. Let me get back up. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Now my throat's not working. Yeah, I need a blue stone sitting right there. An indigo child or kid, supposedly they're like moving into the next stage of humanity, and they have that particular aura about them. And the basic idea is that they are the next stage, or they are moving into the next stage of evolution, where we become more spiritually awakened, more spiritually aware. And according to this, they in their auric fields, they had more blue in their auric. And I've never seen a baby. I've never really looked at babies for their auras, so I don't know, because I can see auras, or I used to be able to. I'm not sure. I haven't practiced lately. My bad. Your turn.
Yeah. So basically, those sort of like Eva. I had times so I can pick up people's auras whenever I see them. People's auras are really strong with people who are very sensitive within sort of with reading. Some of us though that can actually see the auras are actually classified indigo children. So it basically, so indigo children's missions are actually really to change the shift of the reality of the world so the way it goes more positive. Again, it was started actually in the 70s. Beyond physical awarenesses, They are highly driven and creative within situations. So have you guys actually had any children that are high driven, or though that are that can actually see stuff going down the road and try to bring everything more positive forward? So that's what basically though is what children are well known for. So basically though, there are 13 common traditions actually with Indigo Children. If you're wondering if you might be an Indigo child, we will be listing some stuff tonight. And what we're going to do is we're sort of going to give you what we feel is an example actually for these Indigo children. Now I'll start though. Have you ever had any spiritual awakening during your spiritual path? Now, spiritual awakening is a great example. Spiritual awakening, though, you can actually be able to say, hey, I've actually learned quite a bit. I can see a lot better than other ways down the path. Now, that's actually seen with spirits, or be able to pick up energy all together. All right. So number
Plus,
2.
oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Plus, with the spiritual awakening, one of the things is a lot of people don't get their spiritual awakening or don't realize it until they're much older, like 20s, even into their 30s. But these young children, when they hit that spiritual awakening, it's like all of a sudden you see a shift. From what I understand, you see a shift that they're almost an adult thinking, but only when it comes to like a spiritual aspect of things. I can't explain it other than that.
Yeah.
And it's very startling, very startling. And I know I have met children who are, they're smarter than a lot of adults, you know, but I'm not sure if that's spiritual awakening or if they're carrying over from another life. I haven't been able to figure that out yet. And I never thought to look at auras. So I may have encountered more indigos than I had thought of, or than I had acknowledged. Okay, number 2.
Okay, all right, go right ahead. Read number 2.
Well, it says you are destined to be here. And you get very confident and even a little bit arrogant at times. And you seem to be emboldened by something larger than yourself. And they understand that as a child, and you're sitting there as an adult going like, what the hell are they talking about? Not really. And you know that you're here for a reason, and you know that you have to make a change. You know you're going to make changes. And the other thing is you may not feel like you're really a part of this planet. You're from somewhere else.
Yeah. And that there is, like, we go through that sort of like that throughout our life. If you're at one location for, like, say, a job, if you're living somewhere, right, and you're saying, no, it's time for me to move on, it's time. Then all of a sudden you get to the location from A to B, and then all of a sudden at point B, you're saying, okay, I feel like this is the right place. And
kind of like,
yeah, a lot of us go through that, but still, we have to learn through the spiritual way of what's best off. Now, the third one, though, that we're going to be looking at, though, you have experience of, you've experienced quite a bit actually within your life. All right, so that you're bringing it forward now. So, like what Eva was saying, though, is past life stuff that you're bringing forward nowadays is one other traditional that you can actually kind of experience within number 3. So it's basically high expectations of yourself or others, right? And that sort of also what I was just saying though is with your high expectations, sorry, is so that you want to know exactly right where things are going from point A to point B, and you drive yourself. There's some of us so that we will know exactly right when we get there. There's some people though, within this world though, that sit back, let others take control, but you're basically taking control of the situation yourself, and you're forcing it within the positive way.
Okay.
All right.
And one of the biggies with them is you have strong intuition. Indigos are very interesting because they do have this intuition that is almost I would say it is almost, if not totally, and I lost the word. I'm sorry. They're right most of the time.
Yeah.
And it gets damn awful frustrating when this little kid is telling, this is going to happen. And it does. And it keeps doing it. And you often think that, indigos often think that their way is the only way and are offended by people who just do not see it that way. And it's like, they just kind of want to shake you up and say, look, this is what I see. And it's like, it's not going to work, but they're right. It does work. You're not sure how, but it does work. And they sit there a little bit smug, like, told ya. Just like a cat.
Yeah. That's the best example, especially for you, but like a cat.
Just like a cat.
Yeah. And also, though, is another one, though, is your question of authority.
Oh, God, yes.
A lot of us, though, we do question authority, but are we questioning authority within the right way, or are we questioning them in the wrong way? Now, sort of to do with the last one, though, that Eva was just talking about, though, about the strong intuitions, all right, basically those with authority, you have to know exactly if it's going to work out, if it's not going to work out. And that's the best way how to work with it.
I think in the case of the questioning of authority, and because of their intuition, they quite often get a little bit arrogant about it, and they think my way is the right way. How come you're not doing it? And they don't have tolerance. They do have tolerance, but they're kind of like I say, they're a little bit arrogant about it.
Yeah.
And they have a right to be, because they're usually right anyway. Yeah. And that leads into the next one, is where you want to overturn the system, because they know, not but indigos know that there is a better way, and there's a better future out there for us. And they look at a lot of this, the way the systems are, as being very antiquated, comparing to what they really know and believe to be the most effective. The problem is they want it now. I want it now. Like a little, yeah. I don't know. No, I can't say that. Not like a little spoiled child, but come on. All you have to do is this. And they don't take the time to look through all the other little things that need to be done, because let's face it, governments don't turn on a dime, or these systems don't turn on a dime. They have to take their time to get into position, so to speak. And indigos can be very impatient.
Yeah, and that's true though, because a lot of again though, so I love that point though, is government does take their sweet time on a lot of things, right? And also indigo children, which are also adults, want things done right then and there. Some people might call it OCD, but are we sure it's OCD, or is it to do with indigo? So we'll be right back with the rest of the list. We'll be right back after these commercials.
paranormal can happen at any time, so that's why our Etsy store is always open. Get your paranormal items from cleansing to protection to attraction, all available now on our Etsy store. Search Haunting Live.
Dear God, please save us.
All right, all right, all right. So we're back right now, and Eva was just making a good point. And Eva, I'll let you explain what you were just saying.
Well, it just hit me, and I really don't, but if you think about it, the children that were studied in the 70s, the early 70s, as a matter of fact, are now in their 30s, 40s, and 50s.
Yeah.
They're adults, they're out there. And you got to wonder how many of them are actually in some kind of power, authority. It's not power, they are an authority. Something to think about. Putin's not one.
Yeah. And again, those, like I said, now there's Trump. So,
Oh, dear God, protect us.
Yeah, but you can tell exactly with an indigo child around you. There's most because they're creative. They can take anything. It can be within art, it can be within reading, it can be working with others, but they're creative. They're thinking with their minds very fast. So the way they can see the long plan, right from the start to the finish, but they know exactly where that plan is going. One good example is like myself. Since we actually hear like on the commercial for our Etsy page, some of the crafts are done by me. There's no pattern, and I get things done. Boom. So who knows? I might be an indigo child without knowing.
I will have to meet you one-on-one. People don't realize you're in Canada, I'm in the United States. We're really not that far apart, but we have never met.
That's right.
And I have not, because I have not met you, I can't do a real good aura reading online. It just doesn't work for me. And it would be interesting when we finally do meet.
Yeah.
And we'll both have to stand far apart just in case the lightning comes down.
Well, so far our energies do work together, which is awesome.
Yes. Right.
And it feels like we've known each other for more than what we've known each other.
Well, we probably have, we're probably part of the same soul family. So yeah, we probably have met.
Yeah.
And that's why we feel so comfortable with each other.
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother lecture here.
Yeah, that is, yes. All right.
Now we get ahead of ourselves. We should write these things down while we're talking about them so that, oh yeah.
Well, we're going to be talking about this stuff actually within the next couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. So stay tuned. But right now we're going to be taking a look at number 8.
A change maker. Oh, that's a good one. A change maker. Indigos are change makers. And I think there's a lot of them in social work because they see the failings of the society. And because of this, they become leaders. So I think, maybe I was right when I said, we don't know how many are out there that are actually leaders. And they find new and better methods of doing business, of recreating society. They can take what's out there and change chaos into something that's evolving into a more mature and better system. They know how to handle this chaos with ease and aplomb, or a raisin, or an orange, or sorry.
What's a figure of speech?
But which kind of goes along with what I was saying before. We don't know how many of them are out there that are actually in not just government, but my mind is going like, not just government, but how about in business? I mean, look at Elon Musk. Well, maybe we better not look at him. Bill Gates. Bill Gates is a fine example, and I have met him. And you know, you're right, he is blue.
Yeah.
He is blue. He could very well be an indigo child.
Yep.
Or, well, an indigo adult now.
Yeah, well,
Grandfather, I think he is.
Well, even for the LGBT community, if you look at RuPaul Charles.
Good one.
All right, RuPaul Charles, he's been doing so much, especially in new TV shows, so much pushing stuff, and everything comes around. So he could be an indigo, especially with number 8. So with number 9, though, you are a lost soul, not the soul of your shoes, but you're still a lost soul.
You're picking it up for me.
You still don't know exactly right where your purpose is in life. You don't know right where you're going, but still you know that you're there for some reason. And it's true though, because a lot of people don't feel like that lost soul, but a lot of us, we don't feel like those little lost souls. So again, those lost souls are trying to find their ways in life. What? Anything else to say to add for that?
No, that's pretty good there. What you said is true. I think sum it up that a lot of indigos just don't seem to feel that they fit in. You know, and I have met plenty of people like that, but that could be the drug. No.
No, we're not going to Woodstock.
Okay. Well, you got to remember this too. This was written in the 70s, and that's when the hippies were out there. Yeah. The New Age and all that stuff. Oh, no, I think the New Age is much later. But I mean, this was the time of the hippies, the time of Earth Day. So yeah. And a lot of the hippies that I knew, they did have that kind of lost soul feeling.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. And our next one?
They are headstrong. Oh my God, are they headstrong? I think they I think they see life as I know who I am and I know what I'm doing and you can't tell me any different. So there, meh.
Yeah.
Well, minus the no, they probably do sit there and stick their tongues out. Or like they do with the kitties or the little animals that talk. They have a tendency to be extremely, like, it goes back to the other part, being arrogant, like, I know what I'm doing and don't question me. Ha ha ha. Yeah. And they can be difficult sometimes to deal with. Yeah, which leads into next one.
Yeah, and the next one though, you are passion and focus. So you're passionate to get something done, and focus actually is about seeing it right done from the start to the finish. Without any blockage, though, you can actually see right where the finish line is. A lot of us, whenever we're working on something, or even actually doing readings, or even on our normal everyday life, there's people though that cannot see the passion with inside of their own work and see that finish line, right where that finish line is. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come down to number 12, and Eva's going to do 12 and 13.
Oh, I get 2 for the price of 1.
Yes.
Well, most indigos have psychic abilities. And from my own experiences in doing psychic fairs and that sort of stuff, I have seen more and more people who have psychic abilities. And it's very, very I can't think of the right word to say, but you start telling them, well, you have psychic abilities. You can do this on your own. Oh, no. I'm not that good. I'm not like you. And it's like, better thank God you're not. And that seems to be the one thing. And they are sometimes they're kind of resistant to develop that, but other times they're like jumping in with both feet and having a lot of fun. And I looked at that, and one of the things that went through my mind is how many TV shows are out there on all these different channels, paranormal stuff. And I know we bring up the aliens, but you know, you look at the ancient aliens, they also get into a lot of the paranormal things. So there's all kinds of Caught on Camera was one of them. And I'm trying to think of some of the others that I've seen. I mean, the plethora of paranormal, spiritual, psychic programs out there is just kind of blossoming. And I think that's because, like it goes back to what I said before, that they are coming into their own. And even though they're in their 30s and 40s and even 50s, they are all of a sudden blossoming.
Yeah.
And because of this, we're seeing a lot more of psychic abilities and psychic phenomena. And I think that's all a part of it. And these people are seeking help to do some of this stuff, but they're very willing to try and give it a shot. And the last one is, you are frustrated. Oh dear God, that's just the bottom of the bottom of the list type thing, with frustration going up, because I think indigos will see, and they know by using their abilities, that this is going to take place, and we've got to do this, and and nobody's listening.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a rat's behind to really listen. And it's kind of interesting too, because if you listen to people who are in psychologists, the number of people that are seeking help to deal with the frustration of feeling out of place, going back to the one, recognizing their psychic abilities, which, you know, still even a lot of people don't recognize. So you have this passion to go out and do something, and nobody's doing anything with you. They look at you like you're crazy. So you get frustrated, and it's not easy. And that's one of the one of the hallmarks, I guess, could be of being an indigo, is you do have a lot of frustration, right?
Yeah, so true. So true. Yeah. Now, basically, though, what we're going to look at, though, is changes of the indigos. Okay, so changes of the indigos.
Changes?
Not every, yeah.
Challenges.
Sorry, challenges. Sorry, I do apologize on that. So challenges of indigos, I do apologize. Not everyone is born of this generation carries the blueprint. So sort of like Eva was saying earlier, their aura is blue. So again, though, not everybody is actually of the blueprint. The very few, though, that are known as scouts are actually out there testing, calming the situations and souls of the underbrush. So basically, what that means, though, that they're actually out there testing others to make sure, though, that things are going the right way, and see if there is any other indigos actually out there.
And when two indigos, you know, recognize each other, it's really quite an interesting phenomena. But I disagree. I think the scouts have been sent out before.
Yeah.
I would say the generation before the 70s.
Yeah.
They were the scouts. The indigos that came afterwards, it's like, hey, it's fine here. Come on down.
Yeah, and that right there sort of deals with last week's, though, because we wouldn't let people know what the ending of the movie was, because that they dealt with this week's topic, the indigos.
Did you get a chance to look at that book I told you about?
No, unfortunately, I didn't.
It kind of deals with this. It's Arthur C. Clarke's Childhood's End. And it was a movie. I believe it was even a serial on TV. And it kind of deals with the same thing. And the ending is scary. I mean, the ending of the movie was kind of beautiful and, yeah. But the ending of Childhood's End, because the indigos morph into the rainbows, into the crystal, into the rainbow, or is it rainbow into the crystal?
It's crystal rainbow.
Okay. And all of a sudden they start warping reality and that sort of thing. And what happens in the end is just, whoa.
Yeah.
And it could happen with this. I could see it happening. And, but it's rather interesting too, because if we do evolve into as we evolve into the next level of where we're going, there's going to be, it's not going to be what we experience now. It's going to be a whole different ballgame.
Yeah. So Eva's going to go actually on to the next one, which is shifting purposes.
Okay. Well, the indigos are destined to be changers, or shakers and movers, I think that's the right term.
Yeah.
And because they have the abilities that they do, they see all the flaws in the system, and they want to correct it. They want to shift everything the way it should be. It says here that when their mission is complete, I don't think there's going to be a completeness, because once it shifts into the next one, there's going to be a period where they have to really make changes and redo and make it so that the rest of us can move along with it. And the thing is, unlike the indigos, the rest of us kind of just go along and we wait until we're older and wiser. Indigos, they got the wisdom now, and they're going now. I know there's children out there, and they get frustrated because parents won't let them do what they need to do, not what they want to do, what they need to do.
Yeah.
And their push for progress is either thwarted or forgotten. And many times they will just kind of like put that shell up and that's it. No, we're not going to do anymore. We've done with, but there's more of them out there that are starting. I think they're starting to open up now. I think they hear the cry of Mother Earth just from different things that I've read. But that's just my interpretation.
Yeah,
and
it's true though. It's true though. Ever since COVID, that's actually opened up a lot of people's minds a lot better. And before COVID though, everybody's minds were more closed. The Indigo children / adults were more or less quiet. Some of the stuff though that the Indigo children go through, one of them is ADHD, which is attention deficit hyper disorder. So some of them actually go through that. So that they're screaming, but they're not screaming like yelling, but their energy is more or less screaming out words. Another one that they're also going through is depression. Depression is very high out there. And again, though, there is 3 different levels. Yeah, 3 different levels actually of depression. I was thinking about anxiety. Anxiety has 4. And then there's one other one that has 5. But depression, though, is also another one that's actually out there. There's because nobody's listening. They're going through them themselves. They're facing it all by themselves. Eva.
Yes.
Okay. Anything
Yes.
else? So anything else that you like to add?
Having been through depression myself, you reach that point where it's like, I don't just give a damn anymore. Just let me be. And I think that happens with many of the indigo adults. They just don't care. They don't care. And it says in that suicide is a big part of it. And I just been thinking the number of suicides in the media seems to have just increased over a very short time. I mean, yeah, I think suicide has gone on for a long time, but you're seeing it more and more and more with younger people. I mean, even in my own family, a year ago, we had a young man whose future was just out there. He was brilliant. He's going to be a doctor and do research. And he had just got his white coat, went home and committed suicide.
Yeah.
And no one really knows why.
Yeah.
That's the sad part.
Like
No one knew what was going on. So and it would not surprise me. I had never actually met the young man, but it would not surprise me if he was an indigo.
Yeah.
So I can relate to this depression thing from the fact that I have dealt with depression, but okay.
Yeah. That's it. Well, don't worry, you're not the only one. I suffer from depression, anxiety, bipolar, and also schizophrenia.
I don't have that yet.
So that's what I suffer from. I've gone through major depression. That's one of the big symptoms actually for indigo children / adults, though, that actually they do face. But the thing is, I'm always trying to look at the brighter side, trying to turn that frown upside down. And that's the best way to deal. Even though that you might be in depression yourself with indigo, write things down. That's one thing that can actually help. That way you can say
one of the things that I have used as kind of a mantra, and I think another indigo or another, because I don't think I'm an indigo, but I think an indigo or even a rainbow, my mantra is, it could be worse. As bad as everything is, it could be worse.
Yeah. So go ahead, sorry.
When I think about that, it brings me back. Your turn.
Yeah. So we'll be right back after these commercials. We're going to be doing some readings. So get those questions in. We're going to do the last 15 minutes of readings. So again, I'll get those questions in. And next week, though, what we're going to be looking at, though, is crystal children. Crystal children is what we're going to be looking at. So again, let's join us live. Let your friends know. Let your enemies know about us here on Divine Oracle Readings.
The paranormal can happen at any time, so that's why our Etsy store is always open. Get your paranormal items from cleansing to protection to attraction, all available now on our Etsy store. Search HauntingLIVE.
All right, so we're back again. Again, let's check out our Etsy store. Eva's got merchandise on our Etsy store. And again, though, there's a lot of great products actually on our Etsy store. One of them, though, that's not on our Etsy store directly is Florida Water here. Now, this large Florida Water is going for $25. You have to personally email us. We only have 3 bottles left. And with Florida Water, it's a purification. You can use it for cleaning your floors, put it in a little bit of dab actually in your floors, and clean your tubs. and also be able to clean the energy all around you. It does give a floral smell. It
Can you
is
drink
very
it?
good. Unfortunately, you can't drink it.
Oh,
Yes. But it is a really good item actually to have around the house. If you guys like to be able to check that out, again, I'll send a personal email to my podcast at gmail.com. Price is $24. And also check out the Etsy store. Eva's got wonderful products actually on the store with us. She's actually selling small little bags of crystals, is what she's selling with us. So again, if you guys have questions, feel free to type them in. We'd love to actually get some readings done for you. And there was a little boy though that's been up. I got a message. And hi, Damien. Damien's watching both of us.
uh-oh.
So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with the general reading. I'm going to be using the inspiration cards. And 2 cards already fell out.
Uh-oh.
All right, so the first card though that just popped out while Eva's getting her cards ready. This one here.
Yeah.
Okay, this one here is I trust the wisdom within. So basically, I'm trusting the wisdom within. So again, tonight we've been talking about indigos, but we all have the wisdom though that we've been taught. Even for some of us that believe in reincarnation, we also have that wisdom from the past. So trust that wisdom within inside you. The next one though is my light attracts light. Right
Yes,
there.
it does.
My light attracts light. And it's true though, because if you were a light shine person, you're going to attract actually the best. All right, so Eva.
Yes.
If you like to be able to do your readings.
Well, I pulled the 4 cards. What did I just do? Like I say, this past week has been, I just did a general reading for this week. And it's interesting because the first card I pulled up is the 3 of Swords. And a lot of people get very upset with that one. It's like, oh, bad things. And I said, no, 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 no. If you look, the storm clouds are behind. We're moving out of a kind of, I think maybe Mercury might be going direct. So I don't look at that as a negative card like a lot of people. Next card was the Queen of Swords, followed by the the Knight of Wands. And the last card I drew up is the 10 of Coins. And when I looked at these, it's kind of interesting because if you see, I don't know if I can get this, if I do this right. Okay, when I looked at the cards, is she facing him?
Yeah.
Okay. This is how the cards drew up to me. The Knight is facing the Queen. And like I say, the first card can be endings. The last card is definitely endings. But the bad stuff is going to be behind. I think we're going to see in this coming week and probably the rest of the month, we're going to see a lot of bad things that are behind us because there's a lot of good things coming because it's the end of a cycle. We're going to see some endings, and they're going to be good ones. And when I look at the Knight and the Queen, it's like, how can I say? I'm just trying to think. The authority is out there and it's going to be felt, but the Knight is also telling us that authority has to respect those who go out in the field. It's like, okay, so what does that all mean? I'm getting that it means that we're going to see, like I say, we're going to see some changes, but we're going to see an ending of the cycle, definitely an ending. And we're going to see some new things coming up that we had not expected before. And it's going to be the little people who are going to start making waves and going to be feeling, and authority is going to have to deal with it. And it's going to be starting in this coming week. And that's about all I'm picking up on that.
Okay. All right. All right. So those were a couple quick readings. And those join us next week. Well, we do look actually at crystal children. Weekend after that, so we've got to do with rainbow children. Also, so we have another one though that's actually the weekend after. So again, those join that. If you'd like to be able to get a reading done by Eva, you can reach Eva through her new email. And Eva, what is your email?
I knew you were going to ask, and I can't remember. I'm still learning. It's Gypsy Lady.
Yeah.
Gypsy Lady Eva 49 at gmail.com. Did I get it right?
Yes, you did. So
sometimes it does work.
Yep. So that was again those with Gypsy Lady Eva 49 at gmail.com. She would love to do some readings for you, or even actually with myself, Divine Oracle readings at gmail.com. Again, those with you say thanks a lot. Let your friends know about next week. Eva and I will be here. And next week though, there will be a link for you guys to be able to join. Click on that link. And also let your friends know. Share that link with your friends. From us to you, you guys have a wonderful week.
You too.
So
as Anakar or Katar would say, travel in the light.
So true. So, all right, we'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
Have a great one. Bye-bye.
The paranormal can happen at any time, so that's why our Etsy store is always open. Get your paranormal items from cleansing to protection to attraction, all available now on our Etsy store. Search HauntingLIVE.